Sweet. So today we're going to go over the biceps femoris right here. This is the muscle of the week. ¿Cómo se dice biceps femoris?
Bíceps femoris, femoral. No, bíceps femoral.
Bicep femoral. Okay. So if we look at the origin, which is going to be right up here, the ischial tuberosity. How do you say it in Spanish? Ischial tuberosity.
Tuberosidad, tiburosidad, tuberosidad del isquión. Isquión.
Okay.
Sí.
That's awesome.
Tuberosidad del isquión.
So this is where the origin is. So that would be like the start of the muscle. And the origin would mean it moves the least and it's more medial to the body, right? So it is more towards the midline of our body right here.
Okay.
And the insertion is more lateral and it moves more. So that's the best way to describe origin and insertion. Now, there are ones that do not follow that to a certain aspect, but they, you can kind of discern what it is by what is moving.
Okay.
So it's insertion point is going to be on the fibula right here. How do you say that in Spanish?
That's the one that changes the most. Fibula is called the peroné. Peroné.
Peroné? Okay.
Peroné.
So that's going to be the lateral aspect of your fibula. That's where your biceps femoris, long and short head, because you have your short head right here, long head right here. The actions, it's going to go into hip extension. ¿Cómo se dice hip extension?
Extensión de la cadera. Extensión de la cadera.
¿De la cadera?
Cadera is hip, yeah.
Cadera?
Cadera.
Oh, man.
You're good.
Oh, my gosh. So that's going to be hip extension.
Okay.
Knee flexion.
Okay.
How do we say that one?
Esa es la flexión de la rodilla.
Flexión.
Rodilla. Flexión de la rodilla.
De la rodilla?
Look
at that. Natural. And external rotation of the knee, or lateral rotation, as we can see right here. This little fella.
Okay.
So that's the bicep femoris. That's the muscle of the week that we'll go over to start off with. What questions do you have as far as anatomy?
Well, anatomy in terms of the bicep femoris, I read that it actually also helps with external rotation of the knee. Question is that I know the knee only has flexion and extension, but when I was looking at this movement, they were saying when you're like this and you move something like this, an external rotation. So how's that possible? If the knee only has flexion and extension, how can we have like an external rotation of the knee? That would be my...
And that's where we look at the origin and the insertions, right? Right here we can see that the fibula is where this is going to insert. And on the tibia is where your these fellas right here, your semitendinosus and your semimembranosus. Forgot their names for a second for some reason. That's where they insert. So we have to think of the line of pull and concentrating. So it's only in the open chain where it is going to either laterally rotate or medially rotate. So we could see right here, concentrically, if we use that muscle, it's going to do all of those actions. It's going to concentrically move your knee out. Now, is it the main mover of external rotation of the knee? Definitely not. There's a lot of different muscles that are probably going to be involved in that, but it is one of the bigger ones that will do it.
So when you're teaching, when you actually go through the, to the joint of the knee joint, do you actually, tell them that they actually, you can medial rotate or lateral rotate? Because it could create confusion for students when you're telling them about like, the knee is very stable, because it only has flexion extension, but then you mention like lateral, and medial rotation. So how would you prepare for that line of questioning at least?
I would say that the knee is very stable because there's 14 muscles that cross the knee. There's all those different muscles that are coming across the knee to actually create what is a stable knee, right? And so if a lot of those get out of whack, then we have an unstable knee. But it's not, there's a lot of people that they don't have stable knees because all of their muscles become out of whack. So this one is your semitendinosus, and this is going to do medial rotation of the knee.
Semitendinosus, medial rotation? Okay.
And it does everything that all of the other hamstrings muscles do.
Right.
But it does the medial and lateral rotation, the two hamstrings, the biceps femoris and the semitendinosus, because of their positioning and their pull on either the tibia or the fibula.
The line of pull. Okay.
Yeah, so we see here, since this tendon is really long, it comes all the way onto that anterior aspect of your tibia right here.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So right here, you can see it's going to pull it either to the right or left, or whichever foot this is. It's going to internally rotate. And on the other side, if we look at the bicep femoris, that's the short head. That's not going to laterally rotate. It's going to pull it the other way. So that's how it has medial or lateral rotation of the knee. Okay. And it does have flexion and extension. Now in a squat, your knees do you do have tibial internal rotation as well as femoral internal rotation when you're like coming up out of the squat. So it does do internal rotation. It doesn't just do.
It helps. I mean, I guess the rotations help because it actually allows for some movement when you're actually lifting something. I guess that could be a way of explaining, because if it was rigid, you will be more prone to an injury, basically. Is that right?
Yes. Yep. So it's not completely rigid, so it has a little bit of give each way.
Perfect.
Right. And these muscles compensate each side to make sure that it does stay stable.
Now it makes sense. Perfect.
Yes, but when you just say that it does medial rotation, they're like, especially to somebody that's brand new, they're kind of like, what the heck? Like, what is even? I thought it only like moves back and forth like a finger joint, right? Like that's the way most people think that your knee moves, but it moves in, moves out. When coming out of a squat, it'll do a little bit of internal rotation and then go back out to external rotation. It moves around. It's not as stable as a lot of people think. So
okay, great.
Let's see. Any questions on that? Anything you want to say in Spanish on that for anybody that is watching in Spanish?
Sure, I can do it in Spanish. I can try.
Rattle it off a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have you explain it real quick, and then they can watch this part.
Okay, cool.
So we got the bicep femoris.
All right. So Entonces, el día de hoy estamos viendo un poquito hablando del bíceps femoral. Entonces, primero que tenemos que hacer es no confundirnos con el bíceps braquial, que es en la parte superior del brazo, sino que es parte de los isquiotibiales en conjunto con el semitendinoso y el semimembranoso. ¿Sí? Entonces, aquí tenemos la cabeza larga y la cabeza corta. La cabeza larga está atada a la tuberosidad del isquión en la parte, en el hueso de la pelvis, como tal, ¿sí? En la parte superior del gráfico, como pueden ver, y en la parte inferior de la rodilla está atado en la parte lateral, ¿no es cierto?, de la cabeza del peroné. Entonces, esto es lo que nos permite ciertos movimientos como la flexión, ¿no es cierto? La flexión de rodilla, ajá, perfecto, y la extensión de la cadera, correcto, ¿sí? Y lo que estamos hablando justamente con Travis en esto es que también el hecho de poder estar, porque está situado su inserción es en el punto lateral del peroné, también nos permite una rotación lateral, una rotación externa, y el semitendinoso nos permite una rotación medial o una rotación interna. Lo que eso hace es que justamente cuando nosotros estamos tratando de hacer un levantamiento, nosotros creemos generalmente que la rodilla es completamente estable. Sin embargo, esto nos permite, nos da un poco de rango, un poco de movilidad para poder elevarnos o permitir movimiento durante un levantamiento. O imaginemos un deporte como el tenis, el fútbol, donde hay movimientos diagonales, rotatorios, aceleración, desaceleración, estamos saltando, yendo a coger una bola, justamente necesitamos un poco de movilidad en la rodilla. Entonces, para entender un poquito acerca de que no solo es la flexión y la extensión, sino que también tenemos otro rango de movimiento. Travis justamente nos estaba diciendo, si bien creemos que la articulación de la rodilla es extremadamente estable, si es que no tenemos un buen fortalecimiento, ¿sí? De los 14 músculos que van alrededor de la rodilla, entonces vamos a tener problemas y la rodilla se vuelve relativamente desbalanceado, relativamente débil, ya no es tan estable como creemos. Entonces todo va a depender de la musculatura alrededor de esa articulación. All right, I think we we got to the part we just that.
All right. I think I have no idea what you said, but it sounded amazing.
Basically, I repeat everything we talked about before.
Nice. No, that's cool, man. That's
We should do it more often.
I agree, because I'm gonna have to rewatch this and be like, all right, I gotta Google that word. I gotta look that up. I
Yeah.
like it.
So the one
I
that is
like it.
different is just the fibula. It's called the peroné. And the hip. Hip is called cadera.
Cadera,
Cadera, hip y fibula, peroné. Femur es fémur,
peroné,
peroné. Ujú.
peroné.
Peroné, correcto.
And the hip is
Cadera.
is that a L or a D that you're saying?
Cadera. Cadera.
Oh, cadera. Cadera.
Cadera.
There
Correcto.
we go. Cadera.
Cadera.
Carrera. Okay.
Ajá.
Sweet. Yeah, we do have to do this more. I gotta learn some Spanish
Yeah.
words for anatomy. I know a lot of it in English, clearly, but the Spanish part is
Absolutely.
no, I don't know. It makes me feel silly since you know English and you know Spanish. I'm like, damn, I gotta figure this out.
Well, I lived there for a long time. That's why it's
Oh
easy for
yeah.
me. I had to communicate. I went to school over there, so it's part of the deal when you move.
Yes, I guess it's the same thing as if like I went to, Ecuador, I would just be
Oh yeah.
immersed and be forced to learn it.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
That's the
Absolutely.
difference.
Yeah. Especially now that you're doing those 50-mile races and stuff, or that's the plan.
Yep.
In Ecuador is one of the capitals for trail running. Like we
Really?
have so many mountains and hills and everything. Like every weekend we have a different race. So
Have you done a
yep.
50-miler trail race?
No, I've only done marathons, a few marathons, but not 50-mile races. My actually running is the only sport where my knee hurts, where my knees hurts. It's
Yeah.
like it's after like 30 kilometers, my knees start hurting. Like I play soccer, I do jumps in biking, I do jumps in kite surfing, I do a lot of stressful stuff for my knees. And the only time I it hurts is especially running for a long time. So I usually
Really?
run like 10K, 15K, that like once, twice a week, no problem. But like a 50-mile, man, I know my knees will be hurt.
Yeah, I know my knees will hurt too, but I think a
Yeah.
lot of it's like mind over matter, right?
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
like I hate running and that's why I'm doing this challenge. And I like hiking 50 miles. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
How
I
about a
don't think I'll
triathlon?
die.
How about a triathlon?
I got to work up to that, buddy. You know,
All right.
I
All
weighed
right.
myself yesterday and I weigh 220 pounds.
Damn.
So I
All
know.
right.
So that's a big boy running. I'm
Yep.
a big hefty boy running.
Yeah.
I mean, I can lift
Well,
weights.
you
That's
get
all
a
I've ever
lot
done.
lighter with running for sure. It's
Oh yeah.
definitely you gotta maintain your carb loading and all that kind of stuff for it to keep your muscle and stuff.
And no, I got to
So
work out today, and I'm using
yeah,
Sour Patch Kids, some carbs, some easy
there you
carbs.
go. Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna need those carbs when you're running for sure. You'll feel you'll 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 see a huge difference when you're carb loading, where you have been carb loading before the run versus not loading before the run. It's a huge difference. Like your body just prefers carbs for the cardio part. So it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's gonna be a learning experience. It'll be fun though. I'll have a good
Yeah.
time.
That's
Let's
my
do
yeah. Go ahead.
since you teach class in just a little bit,
Hmm.
let's go over the squat. So the squat, and you can just kind of follow along me in Spanish if you'd like, or you would like to just I guess, regurgitate what I said. It's up to you. So
Yeah, yeah,
squat
yeah.
is going to be the agonist is quads and glutes, depending upon the starting position. So if our
Hmm.
starting position is a front squat, that's going to be more quadriceps. If it is a low bar back squat, that's going to be more glutes because of the position of our base of support. So we got to think of a squat as center of mass over base of support, and we're just moving and trying to maintain balance. If we have the weight on our back, that's going to fold you forward a little bit more. That's going to be more glutes. If we have it centered on the front,
Hmm.
then we're going to get a lot more quadriceps. So the
Hmm.
agonist is your quadriceps, and those muscles are the let's get all of them. So we have the vastus medialis, we have the vastus intermedius, and we have the vastus lateralis. The next one up is the only biarticulate one, that is the rectus femoris right here. And biarticulate means that it crosses two joints, which is your hip joint up here and your knee joint right here.
That's the rectus femoris, right?
That is the rectus femoris. Now, the synergist are going to be your adductors. So when you're doing
Hmm.
your squat, I like to do a little bit of light adductor work before I start squatting.
Hmm.
That kind of gets your adductors get primed up and ready to move. I mean, they're always ready to move, but I just like doing a few adductor exercises to get them
Okay.
going. So the adductor magnus, that's one of them. The adductor
Hmm.
group. We're going to do wrong one. We have the adductor longus on the
Hmm.
anterior side and the adductor brevis. Those are the three
The
adductor muscles.
brevis is
Those
on
are
the posterior side or behind
it,
the longus,
it's
right?
it's behind the longus.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see that if we hide that one, it just goes right here. They're kind of
Okay.
all put together, if you will.
Uh-huh.
So so The agonist is quads and glutes, depending upon starting position, and the synergist are all of the adductors.
Okay.
Now, I will start right here and just start clicking muscles if you'd like to do the
All right,
Spanish
Spanish
version.
version.
I don't know
Okay.
what muscles I'm going to click, so you can probably just say the muscle as I click it. Is that how you want to do it?
Oh, no, you probably, in Spanish, you will sound the same. Recto femoral,
Okay.
vasto medial, vasto lateral, y vasto intermedio. I just
Okay.
enunciate very well, hopefully, so you can understand me.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's try it.
All right. It's on you.
Ok, el día de hoy vamos a hablar un poquito acerca de las sentadillas, los squats, músculos agonistas y sinergistas dentro del squat. Entonces tenemos que entender que los dos grupos musculares más, digamos, más prominentes dentro de este grupo, de este ejercicio, van a ser los glúteos y los cuádriceps. El énfasis, ¿sí? Dónde pongamos el peso, el centro de gravedad, dónde está ubicado el peso que vamos a ubicar, va a influenciar justamente qué tipo de grupo muscular vamos a poner énfasis. Entonces, por ejemplo, un front squat, ¿no es cierto? Una sentadilla con el peso al frente, sí que puede ser un goblet, puede ser una con la barra adelante. Nuestro énfasis, nuestro punto de gravedad va a ser mucho más al frente, por ende nos va a poner mucho más énfasis en la zona de los cuádriceps. Recuerden que son 4 músculos, ¿sí? Ya vamos a hablar de eso. Y si tenemos el peso en la parte posterior, donde tenemos, por ejemplo, el back squat, ¿no es cierto? Donde nos va a tirar un poquito hacia adelante, pero vamos a tener una flexión de cadera. Vamos a tener también una extensión de cadera donde vamos a utilizar los glúteos como su mayor énfasis, ¿sí? Ahora, ¿cuáles son los grupos musculares del cuádriceps? Tenemos, Travis nos va a ayudar con esto. En las fotos vamos a tener el vasto medial, que lo pueden ver ahí, perfecto. De ahí tenemos el vasto intermedio, correcto. Ajá, perfecto. Es un poco antes del recto femoral y finalmente el vasto lateral. Eso sí. Perfecto, el vasto lateral y el recto femoral que está superficial. Este es un músculo importante porque va a cruzar 2 articulaciones, la articulación de la cadera y la articulación de la rodilla. Entonces, ahora tenemos los músculos, entonces, dependiendo el énfasis, ¿no es cierto? Como decíamos, un front squat versus un back squat, va a depender cuáles van a ser y dónde vamos a iniciar el movimiento. Como músculo sinergista tenemos los aductores. En este caso, el que está mostrando Travis es el aductor magnus, ¿no es cierto? Entonces él me decía que él, antes de hacer sentadillas, él le gustaba trabajar con sus aductores primero. Entonces aquí estamos con el aductor longus, ¿no es cierto? Y tenemos el aductor brevis, que está un poquito más hacia la parte interna de la pierna, ¿no es cierto? Pero entonces tenemos cuádriceps y glúteos dentro de los músculos agonistas, dependiendo de dónde estemos en el movimiento, y los aductores, los 3 aductores como parte de los músculos sinergistas dentro de una sentadilla. Entonces, ¿cómo ustedes hagan las sentadillas? Si tienen el peso y su base de soporte en la parte frontal, vamos a poner un énfasis en los cuádriceps, y si tienen una base de soporte en la parte posterior, como un back squat, vamos a tener más énfasis en los glúteos. Entonces, todo depende cuál es su énfasis. Realmente tenemos que ver la programación y lo que cada cliente busca como su meta personal. Recuerden, eso es sumamente importante, entender que la meta personal de cada persona va a cambiar. Lo que funciona en nosotros no necesariamente funciona en todos sus clientes o sus atletas. All right. I think
You
we're
want to
good.
do the glute max? Did you already do it?
I don't think, oh, well, we have 10 minutes. Yeah, I guess we can.
Yeah, just say the glute max in Spanish, glute medius, and glute minimus, and then we can cut it. I'm just going to post the whole thing.
Okay.
People can watch it, fast forward, whatever. But it's, it's all good information.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So there's a glute max. ¿Cómo se dice glute max en español?
Glúteo máximo.
Gluteo máximo.
Ajá.
We have
Glúteo
the
medio.
gluteo
Glúteo
medio.
medio. Y glúteo,
Medio,
y glúteo mínimo.
y glúteo
Mínimo.
mínimo.
Correcto.
Mínimo, how do you say
Ma-
m-
máximo,
me- máximo? Wait, this is the medius.
medio. That's medios, medio. Glúteo medio
Medio,
y
glúteo
glúteo máximo.
medio, and glúteo maximo.
Okay.
Nice. Sweet, dude.
There you go.
You know it all. Holy cow.
I'm
All right,
learning,
buddy.
man. I'm learning one day at a time. But I'm
Yeah.
putting myself into a lot of this. I want to do the CSCS next year, so I'm trying to build my confidence with anatomy before I can, go into those big leagues.
Yeah, let's do some more of this, dude. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Is
mean,
Thursday a good day for you? We can do every Thursday if you can.
it all depends on when my
On your
clients schedule.
they don't have like a regular schedule or
They do, but then they're like they move it around and